resurrecting killing spree.
What's up, humans? Kurumi here, and welcome to the Mobile Legends Bootcamp. In this video, we are going to talk about the assassin hero, Lancelot. Lancelot has a good set of area of effect, dash, and burst skills. Our Perfumed Knight, Lancelot, is an assassin hero. I consider Lancelot as a mobile assassin since his skills grants him ability to charge forward. Not only that, his second skill could help him dodge skills. Now, let me share some tips and tricks on how to use Lancelot based on our experience. We will also teach you some combos and techniques on the latter part of this bootcamp. But before that, let me explain his skills one by one for further understanding. Lancelot's passive, Soul Cutter, increases his damage for a short period. Every time Lancelot charges forward with his skills, his damage is increased by a certain percentage for a short period. Take note that there is a damage increase capacity. Lancelot's first skill, Puncture, lets Lancelot charge towards a designated direction. Upon using this skill, Lancelot charges towards the specified direction. Enemies hit along the path will receive certain amount of physical damage. Enemies hit will also have the sword mark. If a target hit doesn't have a sword mark, then the cooldown of this skill will be reset. Lancelot's second skill, Thorned Rose, lets Lancelot perform an amazing sword technique. Upon using this skill, Lancelot will dance with his blades within an area. Enemies in the area can be struck upon for up to 3 times. Damage will be reduced for each extra enemy target hit by this skill. Enemies in the area of effect will also have their movement speed reduced, which also stacks per hit of this skill. This skill only gets 40% of your spell vamp. Also, he can dodge skills with this skill. We will show you that on our experiments in the tips and tricks section. Lancelot's ultimate skill, Phantom Execution, lets Lancelot charge forward. Upon using this skill, Lancelot will charge for a short period. Lancelot will perform an executioner's strike in a forward direction. Enemies hit along the path will receive a certain amount of physical damage. He is invincible throughout the process of the charge. There are so many items that you can buy for Lancelot. You can focus on items that grants physical damage, extra true damage, physical penetration, and items that grants spell vamp. You can actually consider the burst build if you want to focus on more damage dealing. You can also consider the roaming support build if you chose to be more of a roaming assassin. But let's talk about the Kurumi way further. As for starting item, you can consider buying Wrapped or Machete. This item is a jungling item. So when buying this, I recommend that you have Retribution spell with you. Anyway, this item grants physical attack and physical penetration. Its unique attribute grants additional damage to monsters. Another unique passive of this item is Breakout. Every 10 seconds, your next basic attack will be buffed with additional true damage. The amount of true damage increases as your level increases, and slows down the enemy. Dealing basic attacks will reduce this unique passive's cooldown. Another unique passive of this item is Greed. This passive grants additional experience when jungling. You recover some health and mana every time you kill jungle monsters. Another unique passive of this skill is Gorge. This unique passive grants you physical attack every time you kill a jungle monster. This stacks up to 15 times. Lastly, this item makes the spell Retribution applicable to enemy heroes. Upon using Retribution, the target will have his movement speed reduced, and will deal a small amount of true damage. You can consider buying Magic Shoes. Magic Shoes grants additional movement speed and cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction can help you cast more of your skills. Buying attack items, such as Endless Battle, can boost your damage effectively. This item gives you additional physical attack, health, mana regen, lifesteal, movement speed, and cooldown reduction. Its unique passive grants you additional true damage on your next basic attack after using a skill. Triggering the passive of this skill also grants you additional movement speed. With the cooldown reduction and its unique passive, Lancelot will be more explosive with this. You also might want to consider Blade of Despair. This item grants additional physical attack and movement speed. Its unique passive will give you additional physical attack when the target's health is below a certain percentage. The movement speed bonus can also help you chase enemies or escape death. Buying attack items such as Bloodlust Axe will let you sustain your health in team fights. This item grants physical attack and cooldown reduction. Its unique passive grants 20% Spell Vamp. Spell Vamp regenerates health points from damage dealt by skills. Lastly, you might also want to consider Malefic Roar. This item grants physical attack and physical penetration. Also, basic attacks will ignore some of the turret's defense. The item build for Lancelot really depends on the enemy's lineup, so make sure to read each item's descriptions so you can adapt in-game. One of the best spells to be used on Lancelot is Retribution. This will deal through damage to the target minion or jungle monster. When you have a jungling item, having this spell will decrease the damage taken from jungle monsters permanently. This spell will help you farm more gold faster. Building items quickly in the early game will give you advantage against enemies, making it for you to prey easier on squishy targets like Marksman and Mage. You can also consider the Forbidden Jutsu, Execute. This deals a certain amount of true damage to the target. The damage also depends on the enemy's lost health points. This spell ignores the shield effect of the target. If the target has been slain using Execute, its cooldown will be reduced. In my opinion, the best emblem set to be used is the Custom Assassin Emblem set. Custom Assassin Emblem could provide extra stats according to your needs as a burst assassin. Set agility to its max level because it can give you additional movement speed. Higher movement speed means higher chance to chase enemies or escape death. Setting invasion to max level will provide you physical penetration. Higher physical penetration means higher damage on your basic attacks and skills. Get Killing Spree to restore health points and gain movement speed upon killing an enemy. This effect lasts for 5 seconds. With Lancelot's second and ultimate skill, he can definitely kill enemies swiftly as possible. So this will definitely let him survive inside team fights further. But in case you are not that type, just consider Bounty Hunter or High and Dry instead. Set second skill to max level first. Prioritizing this makes the damage higher. That means, you can easily burst squishy enemies. Prioritize first skill less since your second skill is what you need for better damage dealing. Always upgrade his ultimate skill when available for upgrading. Lancelot's passive skill is what you need to increase your damage. Every time he charges, his damage on his basic attack and skills are increased. This damage boost can stack up to 3 times, so it's best that you have stacks of damage increase before you use your ultimate skill. Lancelot's first skill is what you need to chase enemies or escape death. With the ability to charge towards your specified direction, you can easily dash towards the direction you want. Take note that when your first skill hits an enemy, they will be marked with a sword mark. Initially, if this skill hits an enemy without a sword mark, the cooldown of this skill will be reset. So this just means that you can cast this skill one after another, as long as you keep on hitting enemies without a mark. We also did a little testing for your playful minds. We tested a what-if scenario. What if Lancelot hits an enemy with and without a mark at the same time? Let's try having the one without the mark to be hit first. As you can see, his first skill still had its cooldown on reset. How about let's try hitting the one with the mark first? As you can see, the cooldown was still reset. So in short, if you hit an enemy without a sword mark with your first skill regardless of other enemies hit, this will reset your first skill's cooldown no matter what. You can also use this to hit minions first and serve as a bridge to go near your target and burst them out. This skill is kind of OP in my opinion. It's possible that Muntun will nerf this anytime soon, or probably not. Lancelot's second skill is what you need to burst down enemies. With the ability to hit enemies in the area of effect for up to 3 times, this can easily burst down squishy targets like marksman or mage. Not only that, it reduces their movement speed, which is really helpful for your next combo execution. It's also best to cast this skill having the main target in the middle of the area of effect. Being in the middle of the area of effect will make the target catch the 3 damage instances of this skill. Damage will be reduced for each extra enemy target hit by this skill. Also, did you know that while using this skill, you are untargetable? Yes. You won't receive any damage or crowd control effects during the blade dance. So you can easily dodge incoming burst skills and projectiles with this skill. With this, you can now easily dodge death. Lancelot's ultimate skill is what you need to deal a burst charge, with the ability to damage all enemies along the path of the charging. This could deal the finishing blow to the target you are chasing. Also, you are invincible during the dash. Take note that he is still vulnerable to damage during the charge before the dash. But during the dash, he is now invincible. This is really helpful, especially if enemies are trying to deal burst damage or crowd control on you. You just have to time it really well. Also, you can use this obviously to escape death. Here we are again with our experiments. We have our favorite lab rat, Rakuten, to demonstrate with us some heroes that could be easily countered by Lancelot's skills. First, let's have Harley. Harley's ultimate skill deals burst damage after a few seconds. Let's see if we can avoid the burst damage from his ultimate skill with our second skill. As you can see, we weren't able to receive the damage from his ultimate skill. How about let's it against Tigreal's ultimate skill? Tigreal's ultimate skill pulls and stuns enemies beside him. Let's see what will happen if we use our second skill. As you can see, Tigreal wasn't able to pull and stun us. This is because we are untargetable during the casting of his ultimate skill. How about Hayabusa's ultimate skill? What will happen if he casts his ultimate skill on us and we use our second skill? As you can see, Hayabusa just stopped slashing us and just stood there like a good boy. So in short, Lancelot could break free from Hayabusa's ultimate skill with his second skill. Next, we have Franco. Let's see if we can avoid Franco's hook with our second skill. As you can see, the hook just passed by and didn't harm us at all. How about Flame Shot? We were having dilemmas with Flame Shot before trying to dodge its big radius. Let's see if we can also dodge it. As you can see, we were also able to dodge it. So basically, we can dodge and avoid some of the projectile and area of effect skills. But let me say that you can't dodge all skills with your second skill. Let's have Nana's second skill. Her second skill can transmute us into a Neon Cat. Let's see if we can dodge Melina with our second skill. As you can see, when we used our second skill, Melina just waited for our blade dance to finish and destroyed our lives again. This is how evil this Melina could be. Next up, we have Selena. On the description of our ultimate skill, it is said that we are invincible during the dash. Let's see what will happen if we dash towards Selena's arrow. As you can see, we were able to pass through and weren't stunned nor damaged. So basically, we were invincible during the dash but not during its charging. So better practice the timing on how to utilize Lancelot's ultimate skill's invincibility. Lastly, we have our favorite Wan. Let's see what will happen when Lancelot uses his second skill while we are shooting him with our ultimate skill. As you can see, Lancelot wasn't damaged during his blade dance. But Wan still continued on dealing damage on Lancelot. So that means using Lancelot's second skill won't let you totally get away from Wan's ultimate skill. In terms of his combo, there's really no definite combo for Lancelot. There are lots of combos that you can formulate with Lancelot since his first skill has no definite limit on its usage. But don't worry, we will just show you some of the combos we were able to execute. Let's head over to this simple combo. First, we use our first skill to dash towards the target. Make sure it hits a target so it would have its cooldown reset. It is ideal that you use basic attacks every skill execution to abuse the endless battle true damage, but since we are under the turret on this scenario, we really chose not to. Then, use your second skill to deal burst damage and slow the enemies down. Then, use your ultimate skill. Then, you can either use your spell or just deal basic attacks. Then, use your first skill again to either deal another blow to the target or use it to abort the team fight. Now, we are going to show you another situation combo. First, we used our first skill to get near to the target. It's actually a good thing that we hit a minion that made our first skill's cooldown reset. Then, since Gord used his ultimate skill, we chose to use our ultimate skill to dash behind him. Then it is ideal that you deal basic attacks after every skill usage to abuse the true damage from endless battle. But on this one, we decided not to because Roddick panicked so bad. Then we used our first skill to deal additional damage. This one will still have the first skill's cooldown on reset because Gord doesn't have the sword mark yet. Then it is really advisable to deal basic attacks after using a skill. Then, we used our second skill to slow him down and deal burst damage. Then we used our first skill to chase Gord further. Then deal basic attacks. Use your spells whenever you think it's necessary. Additional tip, we just noticed that we were able to dodge Franco's hook using our first skill forward. Franco's hook is really funny in a way that it can be dodged by jumping skills as well. But probably, you might want to try dashing towards the hook if ever you are a daredevil. The tips I mentioned are just some of the ways you can use Lancelot. This video just guides you on how to use Lancelot the Kurumi way. We would like to thank our Wakandian brother, Rakuten, for being our lab rat again for this boot camp. You can search for him in-game and tell him how much you appreciate him, willing to sacrifice his pride and honor to be a pro hooker. Watch his in-game streams and send some flowers and hearts. So, once again, this is Kurumi and that's how you use Lancelot. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel for more contents by clicking on the subscribe button below. For our skin giveaway events, check out the community tab for the giveaway post. We have our coffee account just in case you want to donate us some coffee funds. Check our coffee link on the description of this video. Please only trust bootcamp videos from our official accounts. See you on the next Mobile Legends bootcamp. Cheers.